Hey guys, Dalek44's here. I need a Christmas introduction, and that's why I'm saying Christmas. Oh, and did I mention the fact that I love Christmas? As I've mentioned last year, the year before that, and probably the year before that, I absolutely love Christmas. It's my most favourite time of the year. And nothing could ever stop me loving Christmas. Even in the hardest of times, I still love this time of the year. And you all know what this is going to be from the title, so we might as well get right down to it. By special request, Series 17. I've got a bunch of emails asking me to review this one, and I can see why. It has a new writer, and Sharon Miller's not part of it anymore, and it does go back to some of the logic from the original TV series as well as the books had. So I thought I'd review this one just to get my opinion out. When I first heard about Series 17, I had no idea what to expect. Was it going to be better than Sharon Miller's writing, or was it going to be terrible? Well, let's find out. The 17th series of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends premiered in the UK in 2013. The first 10 episodes aired in June, another few new episodes aired in September, one aired in November, and the last 4 episodes were in December. Crazy. And like King of the Railway, Mark Morgahan does the narration of the show. Series 17 has a new writing style, which is more relating to the Railway series and original TV series logic. So we get a lot of new episodes, such as Kevin trying to help Cranky out at the docks, Scruff getting a new coat of paint and not wanting to work at the waste dump because he's afraid of getting it dirty, Winston driving all by himself, which is kinda like the episode Busy Going Backwards, the dangers of Gordon's damaged boiler, a bigger glimpse into Caitlin and Connor's personality, and the return of other characters such as Duck and Bill and Ben. Jesus H. Christ, thank you so much, Andrew Brenner, for bringing back Duck and Bill and Ben. The return of Duck was a long-awaited joy for all us classic fans, especially how they got a voice actor to sound sort of like how a Swindoner would sound, which would make sense since he's from the Great Western Railway.
There is only 2 ways to do things, Thomas. The Great Western Way and the wrong way.
And for Bill and Ben we got Jonathan Broadbent voicing the two of them. And the way they work off each other is freaking hilarious.
Now then, you two, who is going to tell me what happened this time?
It was your fault, Bill. You tell him. You were the one who came off the rails. You tell him. You pushed me. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. You did. I didn't.
But the writer's been watching Monty Python sketches to get inspiration for this. So what exactly do I think of Series 17? Well, if I'm completely honest, it's not really as good as the original TV series that had the models from Series 1 to Series 7. But it's better than Series 8 to Series 16 any day. One of my favourites from this series is the switch, because we get a bigger glimpse into Millie's personality. And we get to see what Luke and Millie are like when they swap jobs. And the outcomes of it is all pretty entertaining. Another episode I kinda get a laugh out of is Not Now Charlie, because it looks at the most annoying character in the show besides Kevin. And I find it very funny how nobody takes Charlie seriously in this episode when he tries to tell them about an elephant on the track. It kinda reminds me of the old children's book Not Now Bernard. Another great episode is The Thomas Way, because it reintroduces Duck properly, and it has him going through the whole Great Western Way or the wrong way and then discovering the Thomas Way. And that is very entertaining in my opinion. I also enjoy Percy's Lucky Day because of the return of Bill and Ben. Bill or Ben is one of the best episodes in it because it shows Bill and Ben up to their old tricks again. And it is kind of funny to see them painted blue. From the episode Calm Down Caitlin, I enjoy Caitlin's personality. She loves to challenge other engines to races and gets a little overexcited at times. Calm Down Caitlin is a perfect example of it when she spends all night doing different jobs, such as pulling Percy's mail train. And the way she begs him if she can do it is kind of adorable.
Hey, Percy! Can I take the mail train tonight? Can I? Please?
This series also had quite a few Christmas specials in it too. But my absolute favourite is The Missing Christmas Decorations, because it was the first time Diesel 10 showed up in an actual episode instead of just a feature-length special. And it is kind of funny to see him stealing decorations for Tim of Sheds. And we also get a few hints to Thomas and the Magic Railroad. But one of the best ever episodes in this series, in my opinion, is The Smelly Kipper, In this episode, Henry challenges James to take the Flying Kipper, and it's almost like one of the stories from Christopher Audrey's books, and it's really funny to see James taking the Flying Kipper for a change instead of Henry, especially when he gets teased at the end of the episode.
What's that smell?
That's the smell of fish.
That's the smell of James.
Oh! It looks like he's brought a present for the Fat Controller.
What do you mean? Oh, smelly fish. Oh.
Even Harvey the Crane Engine and Annie and Cloudbar returned to the show. Well, technically Annie and Cloudbar was still in the show, but they finally get to talk again. And their voices by Teresa Gallagher are simply adorable.
Thomas! Welcome back! We missed you!
Thank you, Annie and Clarabelle. I missed you too.
Now, one nitpick I have with this is the fact that Rosie doesn't get any speaking roles in Series 17. Yeah, we did get some cameos, and they introduced a gold headlamp on her funnel in Percy's Lucky Day, but we don't get to hear her talk. She doesn't even get a freaking episode to herself. I mean, come on, Andrew, can't you write at least one episode where Rosie gets the main role? But that's just a nitpick, and it doesn't come close to ruining this series, which is damn well better than Series 8 to Series 16. Not every single episode hits bullseye, but they're entertaining enough to be better than the previous series that we've seen in recent years. So I say that this series is definitely worth watching. So in my own opinion, Series 17 is a major improvement to Thomas in the last few years. It's definitely better than Series 8 to Series 16, and definitely better than... oh fuck it, you know which one I'm talking about. So I say that this series is definitely worth a watch. If you love Bill and Ben and Duck and some logic from the original Railway series and the original TV series, then definitely check this out. I doubt you'll be disappointed. By popular demand, Tale of the Brave. Like Series 17, I'll be getting emails up the wall to review this one. And I can see why, it is really popular with a lot of Thomas fans, and it's written by Andrew Brenner. And it's another one of Andrew Brenner's good stories. When the trailer for this film came out, every Thomas fan was going nuts for it. They were talking about the fact that Oliver was returning, they were talking about Bill and Ben being a part of it, and they were talking about loads of other stuff that were in it. So is it kind of bad to say that I don't think it's as good as King of the Railway? Alright, just hear me out. Now by no means I'm saying this is a bad special, I'm just saying it's not really as good as I thought it was going to be. Well, let's go for the story before I have my nitpicks. Thomas is working at the clay pits when a storm closes in and the rain makes the clay cliffs unstable. A flash of lightning reveals what looks like giant footprints on the slope above, but a landslide has begun and Thomas cannot stay to investigate. Bill and Ben, the tank engine twins, push Thomas to safety in time, and that gets a meeting with every single engine, including Rosie, that they are heroes. Unable to go back and confirm what he saw, Thomas tells Percy about it, but Percy quickly becomes convinced that there is a monster on the island. He even becomes frightened of taking the mail train at night. I'm pretty sure they've done this kind of story with Percy before. When an unusual engine with sloping boilers first appears, Percy thinks he must be the monster. James teases Percy and tries to scare him even more, but the new engine, who is called Gator, proves to be a good friend and ally who helps Percy discover what it really means to be brave. So that's the story in a nutshell, but what would my problems be with this special that isn't written by Sharon Miller, even though she was the voice director of this special? Yeah, believe it or not, Sharon Miller was the voice director of this special. Well, who'd have guessed that she'd have been doing something that's even better than her writing? Well, let's get to my main problem with this special. The lesson. Well, I actually really like the lesson. It's a very good lesson to teach kids. Basically saying that being brave doesn't mean you're not scared, but being brave is doing what you're afraid to do. I especially like when Percy and Gator talk about it. The way they both have their own fears is really clever. But the one thing I'm not too keen on though is the fact that Percy's been taking the spotlight for this again. I mean, haven't we done this before in Thomas, Percy and the Dragon and some of the other stories in the past? So basically something that we've done with Percy loads of times, and it's being done again. Another nitpick I have is the same with Series 17, the fact that Rosie has no screen time. It really does annoy me that Rosie doesn't get as much screen time on Thomas these days. I mean, yeah, in the past she's had like cameos, but at least she talked. I mean, in Tale of the Brave in Series 17 and the first few episodes of Series 18, she barely says anything. She just shows up to show that everyone's working on the island. Which is good, but I do wish she'd speak more. Well, actually, she does get screen time. We see her next to Thomas and Percy in the meeting the next morning when the Fat Controllers congratulating Finn and Ben for their heroic actions. But once again, she gets no speaking roles. I mean, I personally think it would have been nice to have had Rosie talking to Thomas and Percy about what Thomas thought he saw. Or at least given her the main role. And I know Andrew Brenner wants to focus on the classic characters, but let's be honest, Rosie is one of the only new characters in the show that didn't suck. And I know there's a lot of other characters from the new series that don't suck, but Rosie's got more screen time than a lot of them. And she still hasn't had an episode to herself. So there's my problems with the film. So what do I like about this film? Well, like Tale of the Brave, it's a big film. And I don't mean in story-wise, I mean in scale. I mean, we get to go back to the China clay pits, and we get to see a lot of other locations that were in the classic series too. Like, I'm pretty sure that scrapyard is the one that Edward met Trevor in. I don't know, have a look at a picture from series 2 to see if you can see any resemblances. I also really enjoy the songs in this special. I think they're written really well. I especially love the song Let's Be Brave that shows up in the end of the special, because it almost sounds like a Scooby-Doo song. Yeah, you know, in the days when they used to put songs in every chase scene. Can you imagine a Scooby-Doo episode with that song in the chase scene? Another song I really like is Monsters Everywhere, because every time I watch it, it just reminds me of Heffalumps and Woozles and Pink Elephants on Parade. If you wanted to do something fun to get rid of boredom, then try putting Heffalumps and Woozles and Pink Elephants on Parade in that scene.
Look out, pink elephants on parade, here they come, hippity-hoppity, they're here, and there pink elephants everywhere.
A heffalump or woozle is very confusal. A heffalump or woozle's very sly.
I also love the fact that James is teasing Percy, he's basically being his douchey self. Well, I take that back, he was never a douche in the original series, but he's been a bit of a douche here. Even when he gets scared himself one night, he continues to be a douche to Percy until the very end of the special. But I personally think that was a very good role for James, being the one that teases Percy, since he's normally the one who's stuck up and arrogant and all that. So he was a good sort of villain for the special. Yeah, like King of the Valley, this special has no villain in it, it's just James being himself. But I'm alright with that. This was the kind of special that didn't need a villain in it. This special also introduces us to new characters such as Gator, Marion, Timothy and Reg. But like King of the Railway with some of the new characters, Timothy, Reg and Marion don't really get a bigger glimpse into their personalities until Series 18. And I guess that's okay, since the focus really was on Percy and Gator. But I love Gator's design. I find his design to be very interesting. I mean, I've never seen a steam engine that looks like him in TV, or even in real life for that matter. It's just a cool design. And as I said, Timothy, Reg and Marion don't really get bigger glimpses into their personality in this one, but we get to see them properly in Series 18. So yeah, despite all the nitpicks I've had with this special, I did enjoy watching it. It was a very good film, but I just like King of the Railway a little better. So this special isn't exactly up there with King of the Railway, but it's definitely worth watching. It's a really good story with a really good message, and it's a bit of a shame that Percy was part of it again since they've done it with him several times before. But he's still a good choice for it. If you consider this to be the best Thomas and Friends special of all time, then I'm fine with that. That's just opinions. Yeah, I have nothing against it. Yeah, not exactly up there with King of the Railway, but it's definitely worth watching, especially if you're a classic Thomas fan, since it's got a lot of Railway series references and a lot of references to the TV series and Railway logic as well as friendship. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. It's a movie I had fun watching, and chances are that I'll probably check it out a few more times. And those were my special requests for this year. I know a lot of you want me to review Series 18, but I haven't seen every single episode of that yet. So chances are when I've seen every single episode of Series 18, I'll probably do a review of it next year. But I want to thank you all for watching these 2 reviews for Thomascember, and hope you all enjoyed them and have a Merry Christmas.